Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you had a good one, and I hope this year is going to be a lot better than last. But that's obviously going to depend on us, isn't it? Um, so yeah, Happy New Year to you all, and this is a really important year moving forward. I honestly don't know which way it's going to go at the moment. I only popped on really today, just quickly. Um, this to do with the anti-vax thing. The whole people really attacking people like me and people who don't agree with vaccines for very, very, very good reason. And they're being attacked and called all sorts, and I'm just actually astonished at some people's behaviour. Really astonished at it. The lengths that people will go to prove their point, or just to prove themselves to be right is unreal. You've got people who are telling their stories about what happened to their children. There's no denying that vaccine damage goes on. I don't even know, right, even regardless of anything else, I spoke about this in my other video. We know that it goes on because we can see it. We can see it, and it's listed in the vaccine package insert. There are plenty of studies to prove correlation between vaccines and neurological damage, autism. This is the thing, see, people just, they not only will they not go and have a look, but they'll actually mock and, you know, just be really spiteful to those people who have and those people who've experienced it. It's crazy. I even had a woman the other day. Well, it went on for ages, this thread did, right? Because of my new account, obviously I got all these new, and it's just coming from everywhere. So I feel like I'm back to square one again, really. Quite shocked about some of the stuff that's been said. Anyway, this went on for a while, and it was about vaccines, and we were on about side effects. So I listed, only some of them from the MMR. And obviously on vaccines, package inserts, for anyone who's read them, you'll know that ear infections is on there. It's one of the most common side effects, problems that arise from vaccination. It's one of the most common. So anyway, I listed these side effects, and then this woman who was arguing with me, to prove her point, she came back and she actually said, in the usual condescending manner, oh, the tinfoil hat thing, blah, blah. Well, my daughter gets ear infections. I'm just going to blame the MMR for that as well, shall I? And I thought, so hang on a minute. I've just told you the side effect. Your daughter suffers with ear infections. She obviously had the MMR, and you're mocking me because your daughter is suffering a reaction. It's off the chip, people. Do you know what it is? Right? Some people, it's guilt. Right? Some people cannot accept. And the thing is, right? Nobody's blaming anyone. No, not you anyway. If you're not informed about it and you go and you're going to do whatever you're told to do. If you're not informed, right? If you're ignorant on the matter, you're going to do the best that you think you're going to do the best for your baby by giving them a vaccine, right? And that's fair enough. Although you should. But now, when this you couldn't be, there's just so much information available to you to go and research it. And the thing is, people know that there's controversy surrounding it, so that makes you the bad person for not actually going away and having a look. It really, really does. I got called a bad parent and everything, mind, yesterday. I mean, not that that's anything new. Obviously, people like to, and my daughter haven't even been to the doctor since she was 9 months old. She's 11 next year, so the proof is in the pudding. It's absolutely ridiculous. But, this whole thing about not vaccinating your children, and that's child abuse. You have no idea. How is it child abuse to not inject poison into your baby? It doesn't make any sense. It really, really doesn't. And the people who laugh at the people who, when they tell them their stories about what happened to their children, and just turn them. It's disgusting. It really, really is. And it's all ego. It's all just because they can't handle it. And rather than go away and have a look, they just attack, and it's shocking. I've seen it so many times over the years, anyway. But I just don't understand why you would even consider doing that just so you can be right. You're just ignoring everything going on around you because you can take that step back and look at what people are trying to say to you. It's not that it's not obvious. Some children have a fit at the scene of having a vaccine, and they'll still say, oh no, it's nothing to do with it. It's just unreal, unreal. You know, if you went out and you got knocked over by a car and died, people would know the reason for you dying was being knocked over by the car. But when it comes to vaccination, it's anything but. It's anything but the vaccine, even though it's listed as a side effect. SIDS. It's listed on there, and death. Same thing. It is listed on there. And there's no denying that at all. And it usually happens between 8 and 16 weeks. And that's exactly when they have the the DTaP shots, one after another, over that period. That's typically when SIDS occurs. Actually, it's something like 72 hours after vaccinate. Yeah, they normally 72 hours after vaccination, and they say they died for no reason. Well, then if a baby dies for no reason, or if anyone dies for no reason, you should be finding out what it is by autopsy. But the thing is, they don't even test the toxins that are found in vaccines when they do autopsies, because they know that there's a correlation. It's a very, very, very sick industry, but it's no denying it. I'm 37. When I was in school, I don't remember anyone even with a hearing aid. You know, there's issues with vaccination and blindness and deafness. That's written on there too. But when I was younger, there was hardly nobody, hardly anyone with glasses, nobody with autism, nobody, you may have had one or two, or they would say naughty children, but that's probably just because they couldn't be bothered with school. There might have been one or two, 1 in 10,000 in the 1970s, 1 in 28 today, and we're heading for 1 in 2 by 2025. We keep on vaccinating the way we do. How people can't see it now is beyond me. And the reason that they give that, we didn't diagnose it. We just didn't diagnose it back then. You would not have missed those children. You would not have missed them. It's insane. And the other one is, it's genetic. Well, where's all the autistic adults then? And for it to happen over a 3-decade period is impossible. It's impossible. But they will throw anything just to show that it wasn't. Even like I say, straight after the vaccine has been administered. And people will still say, it's normal, it's crazy. But this was really about people who were just being really, really spiteful and, quite childish and irresponsible. That's what I'm going to call you, irresponsible, right? You can do what you want. Go and get your COVID shot as an adult. Go and get, whatever. You can look at this information and you haven't bothered. And as an adult, go and do what you want. But these people who sit there and say, I'll do anything for my children, anything for my children's future, I'll keep them safe, I'll die, but you won't sit there for an hour. An hour would take you to enough to go, hang on a minute, and then, obviously push you on to keep going. Not even an hour. It was 35 minutes for me on the first documentary I ever watched, and that was enough. Lazy and irresponsible, and people they'll look for months, sometimes years, for the perfect house and the perfect car and the perfect holiday, right? And you won't spend half an hour reading a vaccine package insert, and you'll do anything for your kids, will you? Unbelievable. And because the ego comes in, you just can't handle to be wrong, you'll quite willingly inject known and classified neurotoxins and carcinogens, animal cells, human DNA, antifreeze, multiple antibiotics, polysorbate 80, polysorbate 20, which causes diabetes, MSG, glyphosate, which is a pesticide. The list is endless. It's endless. They don't deny what goes in there. It's just absolutely insane that you wouldn't even. If I was sat on a bench, say with somebody, right, just some random stranger, and I had my daughter, say, as a baby on my lap, and I got a bottle out and I said to this stranger next to me, I'm just gonna feed my daughter all those things I just said: mercury, aluminium, MSG, glyphosate, pig blood, cow blood, monkey kidney, human DNA, human aborted fetal tissue, antifreeze, all of the other barium, lead, all of the other metals, right? That person would probably phone the police on me, and rightly so. And, because it's okay for somebody in a white lab coat to put those exact same ingredients, but inject them the irony being is if you did drink that, although it's very dangerous, obviously, you got more chance of survival than having it injected into your arm, obviously, because your body's able to do what it does and excrete the toxins properly, or at least most of them. When you're injecting it, you're just bypassing that whole process, you know. So just for the people out there who think it's funny and just want to attack just because they don't like it, or they don't like me, or they don't like, you know, anti-vaxxers who are ex-vaxxers in 90% of cases, go up to a vaccine injured child's mother and laugh in their face that you think they're full of shit when they have to deal with what they have to deal with because of this industry, and they know full well why. You know, there's no denying that it happens. They even admit it. Why do you think they got compensation schemes set up all over the world for vaccine damage? And they've paid billions and billions out. And that's only less than 1% of even the one that makes the connection enough to go to, and that's something like 10%. It's absolutely ridiculous, minuscule amount of people who get compensated for what really goes on. So there's no denying it at all. So you can call me a conspiracy theorist and a nutcase and whatever all you want. But the facts are the facts, and the point is for people to just blatantly disregard it because they just want to be right over their own children's health is absolutely fucking beyond me. It really, really is. I think you need to get a grip and start actually looking at what you're saying instead of just blabbing a load of crap. It's disgusting, it really is. It's the one thing that really gets me. Don't you ever mock that. Unless, hope to God, it don't happen to you. Because most people have to learn the hard way, you know. Go and ask them if they wish they'd had a look into vaccines first. And they will, they do. They would done anything. They didn't know, though, did they? And had they known, they wouldn't have done it. Because every single person I know who's anti-vax or ex-vax never goes back to vaccinating after researching independently. Never. That should ring alarm. All the things should ring alarm bells, but they don't, do they? Why? Why? Is it because your ego is that massive that you can't just go, hang on, let's just have a look. Let's just have a look. Instead of going to find your confirmation bias bullshit, which you're always going to find because the social media and, you know, the internet is full of it. You're always going to find your confirmation bias, and it's just bullshit. And I'm bored of saying it. To be honest, it's saddening. It really, really is, that while people are arguing and at each other's at loggerheads, there's still millions and millions of kids out there going to be damaged by these vaccines. It's absolutely it's insane. And as for you know, trusting the professionals, I don't. I said it. I spoke to, obviously I interviewed Dr. Kaufman the other day, and he touched on it. That doctors don't learn about vaccines. They're not taught about vaccines. They're not taught what's in them. They're not taught the side effects. They're not shown the studies. They're just told that that they have to use them. They don't know it. This massive misconception of people thinking that the doctors know everything there is to know about vaccines. They don't know anything unless they've gone away and had a look themselves, and then they change their minds and then get ostracised and demonised in the mainstream media like a vicious cycle over and over. It's mental. They don't know. So if doctors are not taught about vaccines, I'm pretty sure nurses are not either. You know, and I got half of them saying the truth and saying, you know, this is what's going on, and then the other half, it's just, I don't even know what's going on there. It's bizarre. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to go and do a quiz, just for a bit of afternoon fun with the family. So yeah, just please bear that in mind. What, you know, that vicious tongue that can come out can really do damage. You know, when babies die from vaccines, it's the mother that the mother spends their whole life, unless they understand that it's from the vaccine, thinking it was their fault, or the parents. Imagine that level of guilt, and it wasn't even there. It was nothing to do with them. You know, this is why I speak out about it, because I can't deal with that sort of, you know, this sort of genocide going on with our children. They've built an empire on our children's damaged brains. You know, it's absolutely disgusting. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'll speak to you soon, guys. Bye.